Shoot or don't shoot? News4JAX investigates. What would you do?
In light of several police shootings across the country that have highlighted tensions between police and citizens, we decided to put ourselves in their shoes to see what it's like for officers involved in life or death situations.
We teamed up with some of the most experienced deputies at the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. They put together 3 scenarios for us, scenarios taken from real-life events that happened on the streets of Bradford County to let us experience the tense situations they're put in every day.
News4JAX's Heather Lee and Vic Micolucci invited our crime and safety analyst Gil Smith, who was an officer for nearly 3 decades, as well as local NAACP leader Reverend Larry O'Hara. Reverend O'Hara is an activist who over the years has spoken out against police shootings. So shoot or don't shoot, what would they do while wearing the badge?
It's a decision police officers have to make in just seconds.
Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer.
Yeah, I got some. Shoot or don't shoot?
We never point this at anything other than a threat.
Ask anyone in law enforcement and they'll tell you pulling the trigger is a last resort, but say sometimes they have no choice.
The first scenario, a domestic disturbance.
Neighbor called in, said that the neighbors are arguing next door.
Who is it? Police.
What's going on? I just need to know what's going on. Oh, Lord.
I'm trying to tell you what's going on, but you won't listen to me. See, I told you she's crazy.
Gil focused on the man outside, but ended up getting shot.
I know he doesn't have a weapon, then I'll go in and deal with her. Of course, I didn't have time for that.
Yeah. The woman inside also shot Larry and Heather.
Get on the floor. I'm dead.
After they turned their backs to the door.
And I was thinking about calling backup. I didn't get the opportunity before she shot me.
I was the only one who didn't get shot. I didn't fire either, but I'll admit I was close, especially when the man pulled a TV remote from his pocket.
He should not have reached into his pocket. He was definitely putting himself at risk.
Scenario 2, a suspicious person's call.
You guys have an identification? Yeah, for what?
What do you need our identification for?
Can you drop that bag for me? Put that bag on the ground. Put both your hands up.
home.
Put both your hands up.
But they didn't listen. For Vic and Larry, the suspects walked away and one man pulled a pistol out of the bag, triggering a gunfight. When it was my turn, I was able to keep them out of the bag, but didn't pay attention to the guy on my left.
Did you have a gun?
Knife.
You had a knife?
Yep.
And did you get me?
Yeah, got you.
Gil was the only one who didn't shoot. He held them at gunpoint and kept them away from the bag.
Didn't know it was in the bag. I didn't want to let them get anywhere close to the bag.
Scenario 3, a traffic stop. It may sound simple, but officers say it's one of the most unpredictable and dangerous.
Why are you stopping me? Come on! Why are you stopping me?
The irate driver came charging at all 4 of us.
I got something for you. I got something for you right here.
Gil and Vic pulled their guns when he got close, but never fired, even though he reached into his back pocket. Turns out he was grabbing his wallet.
He threw his wallet, but I mean, if he had been in his pocket a little bit longer, I was ready to pull the trigger.
Heather did pull the trigger, shooting the man 3 times. And then there was Larry, the NAACP leader who's spoken out against police shootings. He fired too. The deputy said if this was real life, the man he pulled over would likely be dead. He was unarmed.
But your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was...
What would have been 2 weeks ago?
Just listen to someone speak to me about it.
Watching it. Watching
it. I really don't know. Because it's one of those type scenarios where it didn't happen to me.
Okay,
let's
say it happens a week from now. Now that you've gone through this, you've experienced it, and you see this happen, what would you think then?
And then I would have to be on the officer's side, simply because his life was really in danger.
Yeah, I got something for you.
I knew something had to be done, and I wanted to be the one to go home today.
Vic and Heather joining us now, and I'll tell you, our hearts are even racing just watching that. Is there anything, obviously this is as close to the real thing as you can possibly get, anything that surprised you about what you went through, maybe that you thought beforehand and then experienced this and your mind was changed?
I thought
to be honest, that I would enter into these scenarios knowing, you know, just knowing what I was going to do, I guess, a little bit better. But once I got into them, it was so quick and so fast that I had no idea what to do. And it happened that quick that I made these decisions, and it was like I could have made the wrong one, you know?
Did it give you a feeling, though, of what officers go through on a day-to-day basis when people or suspects don't do exactly what they tell them to do when they do it? And did you get a feeling of what they go through emotionally?
Well, Rob, it's absolutely frustrating and it is frightening because it happens so quickly. You can Monday morning quarterback these situations and say, well, anybody could do it like this. But really, when you're in that situation, when the person's yelling at you, when they're charging you, especially when they're larger than you, as in the case with Heather, it's scary and you don't have a lot of time to think about. And sometimes you're not in your right mind.
And do you
just
feel
have
the
to react.
frustration of someone not doing exactly what you tell them to do? Drop the bag, get on your knees, that kind of thing.
Right, because you
Yes.
have no idea what they're going to do next.
And
It's unpredictable.
They really tested us, you know, with that.
I was going to say, well, the guy who pulled out his wallet, they're frustrated too, just as frustrated at being stopped. So you got to see their point of view as well.
Right, and here's an interesting tidbit. One of the officers that was with us actually went through that very scenario in real life, and he said that that was the closest he had ever been to pulling the trigger.
Every scenario really happened in Bradford County, and they said it's all about just kind of fostering that conversation and just having a relationship between the citizens that they serve and the actual law enforcement officers that are out there.
Vic and Heather, good job. Thank you. Now, to watch Vic and Heather, Gil and Larry go through all three scenarios uncut, we've put them all on News4Jax.com for you to watch. We've also posted behind-the-scenes footage. Just look on the homepage.